Hello everybody, my name is David Liu. I am running for the California 49th Assembly District as the only Republican candidate. I am new to politics. I am not a politician. I have no experience, I have no connections. I do not have big companies or wealthy people backing me. I don't have any of that. I am an average nobody. As an average nobody, why do you want to run for such a prestigious position? The reason is very simple. You do what is right, not what is easy. Every single day, I walk down the street, I feel scared. I eat in a restaurant, I feel scared. After a long day of work in the office, after I get back home, I want to take my mom out for a walk, for dinner. My mom doesn't want to go. She is scared. I feel this way in the past few years, every single day. I live in fear. I'm sure you feel the same way. We have to make changes. Not only that, the indoctrination in our schools is getting worse and worse. One of the reasons Elon Musk moved out of California is that his son had a sex change operation. His son has become his daughter. Her name is Vivi. I think the indoctrination has to stop. The parents are entitled to the notification of such a dramatic event in their children's lives. Third, we have to control inflation. You go to McDonald's, you go to Starbucks, the price has gone up by so much to the point you cannot afford to live in California anymore. We have too many taxes. Not only there's a lot of taxes, many of them don't make any sense, such as mileage tax. You travel more miles, you pay more money for mileage tax. People who travel a lot are the kind of people who don't have a high income. They have to live on the outskirts of the city. So you get penalized for not having high income. It does not make any sense at all. That has to stop. That's why I am running for the 49th Assembly District. Because I feel scared. I don't want indoctrination. That would affect my child. I don't want inflation. You feel the same way. You, me, together will send a strong message to Sacramento. Let's do something about it. I don't want to just talk the talk. We have to walk the walk. But I need you to walk with me. Thank you. My name is David Liu. I'm the Republican candidate for the 49th Assembly District in California. Thank you. David Liu. I'm the Republican candidate running for the 49th Assembly District. For today's show, it's very special. The reason why it's so special because I have a very special guest here with me. That's Miss April Verado. She's the mayor of Arcadia. She's also the only Republican candidate for the 28th Congressional District. Welcome, Ms. Verado.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, David. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm very glad and very excited. This is going to be great.
Yeah, great to have you here being with me. So as everybody can see, in the past a few months, even few years, the safety issue in the county of Los Angeles, especially in the cities where, such as Arcadia, Pasadena, Temple City, Alhambra, Monterey Park, Monrovia, Glendora, especially in those cities, the crime rates have been going up consistently. So it is a big issue. In addition to the crimes, crime rates going up, there's also a big issue of inflation. So let's address those issues one by one. In terms of public safety, Ms. Verado, what do you think the reason or the reasons are, for the crimes being committed and more often, and as opposed to the past? Yeah.
So we definitely have policies right now in the state of California that make it easier and almost make it incentivizing criminals to commit these acts because there is no consequences. You get a lot more and more policy to, first of all, decriminalize a lot of behavior that used to be a crime. Now it's not a crime. So these people commit these acts and there's no punishment because it no longer counts as a felony. Then you've got a district attorney that no longer wants to charge crimes for what they are. They want to look at the crimes and go, oh, it's not that bad. We're not going to charge that as a felony. That's just a misdemeanor. So let me give you an example. In the city of Arcadia, we have the smash and grabs now that have happened at our mall, which we don't want. We're trying to defend against. We're trying to deter these types of crimes. But what ends up happening is these criminals know they can come in, they can do these smash and grab crimes. They can steal the Hermes bags. They can steal your Louis Vuitton bags. And even though it's over the 950 and it's a felony, because there's no physical harm to anyone, it's considered a non-violent felony. And Gascon doesn't want to charge it as anything more than just a theft. And when you have that happen, there's zero bail because it's not a violent felony. They're booked and released the same day. And then they can go out and commit the same crimes over and over again without any kind of consequence or punishment for the behavior that they're doing.
Yeah, it's so true, actually. What happened in Glendora is actually, in a way, even worse. What happened was that a few months ago, actually, there was this person. He actually broke into a car. He's trying to steal the car. He was arrested and taken to the police department, but he was released on the spot. And 2 hours later, and he was arrested second time because he was trying to steal a second car. Yeah. Another 2 hours later, a third arrest, but still he was released.
Yes.
So meaning that if we have policies like that, nobody is safe. At least nobody can feel safe.
Right.
So if you cannot feel safe, what is the point? So it's like, what is the meaning of living a good life? Because if you're constantly worried, you're stressed.
Yes.
You'll be like, oh, you know what? You're eating a restaurant. You'll be like, oh, what if someone is trying to steal my car? You cannot really enjoy that meal. Yeah. Especially if you, say on weekends, you're trying to have a nice meal, with your loved ones, with your children, with your parents, with your husband, with your wife, boyfriend, girlfriend. But you cannot really enjoy that meal at all, right? Yes. Because you'll be like, oh, you see someone probably, you say you are eating, through the window, you see someone walk toward your car, you'll be like, man, is he gonna try to steal my car? So that's why I think that not only just the fact that some people become victims, of these crimes, it is the fact that everybody, it doesn't matter, you're a Democrat, you're a Republican, you're independent, everybody lives in a constant fear. Yes. So I think it's a very big price to pay. And yes. it's a price that nobody should pay. Right? So I think what this zero cash bail policy does, it's in a way, it's not the way I see it. I guess that they're trying to paint it as we're giving them a second chance. It's not as bad because it's now violent. Yeah. So, but I think in essence, what it does though is that if you are not punishing criminals who have committed crimes, or at least they're criminal suspects, you are actually punishing the good people. You're punishing the working people.
Yes.
Right? In addition to that, I think you're also sending a very wrong message to the children, because they will be like, well, that person, he was trying to steal a car 3 times, nothing happened to him, meaning that stealing a car is not that bad. Right? So yes. Maybe I should try that too.
Yes.
Why do I want to work for money in an honest way, later save it up and try to buy a car? I can just easily steal a car.
Yeah.
It takes probably five minutes if I want to, get especially let's say you're in college, you get a job that pays like $15 per hour, it probably is going to take like a year or 2 to save up enough money to buy a car. You'll be like, no, I'm not going to do that. It takes way too long. I'm just going to steal it. It takes 5 minutes.
Right.
So I think what zero cash bail policy does is that it basically basically the way it is that the right is wrong, the wrong is right. Right? And before, I feel like, if somebody was trying to steal a car, they probably would have to wear a mask of some sort. They don't want to be seen. But right nowadays, they don't even bother to do that anymore. They'll be like, oh, yeah, I'm just going to go steal a car. Big deal. Yeah. Give me 5 minutes. Yeah, I'll come back and finish the meal.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, it's more than just the zero cash bail, right? The zero cash bail came about just on October 1st.
Yeah.
Before that, you had a district attorney who looked at the crimes and didn't charge them as much as you could. He would look to see, what's the least charge that we can go with. And that's a problem. So when you start layering all these different policies, one on top of the other, and then you had all these policies come out to basically decriminalize drug use, decriminalize drug dealing. So I call it decriminalizing because all we're doing is saying it's no longer a felony. There's no longer jail time. And now it's just misdemeanors. So you have all these things, one after another, layering on top of each other. And that's what's causing this explosion of kind of these brazen crimes. Whereas before, like you said, people would try to cover their face or they would try to be more discreet about their crimes. They don't want to get caught, right? Yes. They're worried about getting, now they don't worry about getting caught. Now it becomes more and more brazen. It's only a matter of time before it becomes more and more physical or violent. So to me, these kinds of policies, they start from the top. They start from the top of leadership, saying, this is what I want to see, and then it trickles down. It trickles down from your governor, it trickles down from your Congress members, and it goes down to your Senate, your Assembly, and then it bleeds into your local government and your city councils. And city councils have been kind of the last stronghold of more conservative values. This is where you get the people who represent the residents who are concerned about public safety, who are concerned about local control of development in their cities. They're concerned about fiscal responsibility, being able to afford police and fire and the equipment that's required in order to have an effective police and fire department. So to me, you've got to start at the top. Because if you don't have that conservative leadership that's concerned about public safety, that's concerned about fiscal responsibility and making sure that cities have the money that they need to be able to do the job that they need to do to keep their citizens and their residents safe, you're going to have it just trickle down. And it's just going to be more and more.
Yeah, I could not agree with you more. So I admire you so much for running for the Congress, because the changes need to be made from the top.
Yes.
Yeah. And also in terms of the public safety issue, though, it's not about whether or not you're a Democrat, you're a Republican, right? So do you think that if that person wants to break into your car, he's going to text you first, Mr. Verlado, are you a Republican or are you a Democrat? No. If you are Democrat, you know what? I will let you go this time. But if you're a Republican, I'm going to steal your car, right?
Yeah.
So they're not going to actually send you a text message. They're not going to get a confirmation before they decide if they want to steal your car. Right? So it doesn't matter, like, you know, what you are. So everybody is a victim. Everybody lives in constant fear. So, but that can be changed. How do we change that? How do we do that? We need someone like Mr. Verlado. Why do I say that? Well, not only because, you know, she is an attorney just like me, and also she's such a wonderful person. More so is that she has a very good, like a very impressive track record. If you don't believe me, you can take a look at what she has done for the city of Arcadia in the past 8 years. What have you done? Can you tell us about it?
So I first got elected in 2016 to the Arcadia City Council. It was the first time I ran, and I was running against incumbents, and I was able to get the highest number of votes in order to get onto City Council. One of my main priorities at that time was controlling or curbing mansionization that happened in Arcadia. We were getting a lot of overbuilding, and we were able to very quickly resolve that with reasonable standards on what new homes should look like. It wasn't necessarily shrinking homes. A lot of people were very worried that we were trying to make all the houses small. No, it was trying to fit in the large homes in the appropriate places in the city of Arcadia. So large homes still being built in Arcadia, but in the appropriate places. The next thing I focused on was our unfunded pension liability. We had $150 million in unfunded pension liabilities, and I took it on. I asked to create a task force to take a look at our budget. I was looking at pension obligation bonds. We were in a PERS program that had a 7% interest rate on that $150 million. We refinanced it basically, and now we're at 2.75%, saving the city of Arcadia over $22 million over 10 years. This ended up leading to a $9 million surplus in the city of Arcadia last year. And that's about what fiscal responsibility is about. We are in charge of the taxpayers' dollars, and we can't just waste those dollars. You know, one of the things that we were having a problem with is in 2017, we had a huge spike in residential burglaries in the city of Arcadia. Huge spike. We were having, on average, one a day. So we went up to 365 residential burglaries in 2017. We needed to hire more police. We needed more sworn police officers patrolling our streets. To be able to do that, you've got to have money. And the revenues, they come in on sales tax, hotel tax, property tax, but it's limited. And we have to make the most of those dollars and make them go as far as we can. And part of the responsibility of City Council is making sure our community is safe and using those dollars wisely. Since I've been on City Council, we have hired and opened up 4 new sworn police officer positions. That has really brought down residential burglaries in the city of Arcadia. So we were able to bring it down from 365 down to about 250, 220. And so I'm really proud of that accomplishment, being able to save the city money and using the money that we have towards more police in order to keep our community safer, because the rest of the state is not doing anything for us to keep us safe, right? So, when everybody else is out to get you, you've got to look out for yourself. So that's what we've done in the city of Arcadia.
Yes, I mean, I have to say I'm very, very impressed by what you have done. So Arcadia actually has a large number of Asian Americans, who are residents in the city of Arcadia. So a lot of people actually, if they either live in Arcadia or they want to move into Arcadia. The one of the main reasons, Arcadia is so desirable in each and every single way is because of what Mr. Verrado has done. Not only for the city of Arcadia, more so for the people, for the residents living in the city of Arcadia. So because you feel safer, just more jobs, right?
That's right. So it's an important part of why people are drawn to the city of Arcadia.
Yes.
It's not only for our schools, and it very much like me. I was born and raised in Arcadia, but moved away for school. Got married, lived out on the west side, then moved to Pasadena. We lived in Pasadena for a while, but the schools were not that good. And so for me and my husband, with our 2 kids, we moved to Arcadia. But not only for the schools, but because we wanted a safe community to raise our kids in. And I think that's what most of the people who move to Arcadia are looking for. And that's what I like about Arcadia.
Yes.
Quite frankly, I like that my residents and my neighbors have the same values that me and my husband do, which is it's all about our children. Our children are our priority. We want to make sure that they're getting a good education. We want them to have the best opportunities in the future. We want them to be able to make money and to be able to afford to buy a house. And we know that that takes a lot of work and a lot of sacrifice. And I think that the other residents of Arcadia understand that as well. And we want someplace safe for our kids to go out and go to school. We don't want to worry about people shooting up at shooting our students at the schools. We don't want to worry about people going in and doing smash and grabs at our malls when we're out shopping. So I believe that we're all in this together. We're all looking for the same thing. And that's why I'm running for Congress, is I want to protect my children, but I want to protect the children of all of my residents as well.
Yes. I think 2 major attractions for the city of Arcadia. One is safety. The second is good schools, because it has a very good school district. So if Mr. Verrado can make Arcadia, I'm sure she can make the whole district, every single city in the district, Arcadia.
Oh.
Right? So Mr. Verrado,
I hope so.
Can you just give us the whole list of the cities that's in the district, so people will know? Yeah.
Sure. So Congressional District 28 was redrawn 2 years ago. So it's got new boundaries. A lot of people are not familiar yet with the new boundaries. It now starts up in La Cañada, and it goes down into the east part of Pasadena, and then drops down to South Pasadena, Alhambra, Monterey Park, Rosemead, San Gabriel, San Marino, then goes back up to Arcadia, and then goes up across a very small part of Monrovia, very top north part of Monrovia, goes up into the foothills, across the mountains, into Wrightwood, drops back down into Glendora, just the top part of Glendora, top part of Claremont, and then goes across the top part of Rancho Cucamonga and Upland. Goes all the way into another county, San Bernardino. The district is, I found out today, 45 miles long from one end to the other. 45 miles.
Wow. Yeah.
It's a big district now.
Yes.
So, yes. So we've got a lot. Oh, I forgot Temple City. Did I say Temple City and Rosemead? Yes.
Yes.
There's a lot of cities in there, 15 cities.
Yeah. I'm also running for the 49th Assembly District. Yeah. Actually, the cities that are in the district will actually overlap quite a bit with Mr. Verrado's 28th Congressional District. And we also have San Gabriel, San Marino, parts of Pasadena, Temple City, Alhambra, Monterey Park, Arcadia, Montebello, El Monte, and South El Monte. So, so in terms of hiring more police officers, having sufficient funding for police department, actually, I think that actually is very essential to make sure that if there's a crime, there will be enough police officers that can respond to that. So, and also the response time can be very short. During COVID, there was this some sort of movement of defunding police department or underfunding police department. The way I see it, that's nothing but sheer stupidity. So can you imagine if there's, why do you want to defund the police department? If that's the case, why don't we just get rid of all police departments in the nation? No police departments, no law and order, no jails, no nothing. So the whole country will be like a purge, right? Anything goes. Can you imagine, right?
No.
I don't know if you have watched that movie, Purge. I believe there's two of them, right?
I've seen it.
So that's, I don't know if you still remember a few years ago during COVID, I actually genuinely feel like, man, this is like a real life purge situation, right? They're just like a people, they broke into stores and grab all the shoes, right? It's like, it just was so chaotic.
Yeah.
So the whole idea of defunding police department is nothing but sheer stupidity, the way I see it. And a second, and say for City of Arcadia, a lot of residents are Asian Americans, a lot of them are immigrants. Me being immigrant myself, we came to America for law and order, not for lack of it. Yeah. Right? Otherwise, what was the point of coming?
Yes.
Right? So I think first of all, we need law and order. And a second, how can we do that? How can we restore City of Arcadia? How can we restore State of California? How can we restore the country to the way it was before? Yes. You need to have someone like Ms. Verado. You need to have someone like me. Yeah. Right?
You need somebody with the political courage to stand for what they believe in and what they know is best for its residents, and not to blow with the wind of whatever, whatever rhetoric is being put out there. In the city of Arcadia, luckily, nobody was asking to defund police. We actually hired 2 more police officers during 2020. To me, you don't defund police when you say, oh, there's an issue. We did not have the same issues that a lot of other police departments have with excessive use of force. Our police department has policies in place that make sure our police department understands, our police officers know that they are a service organization. They are providing a service to the city of Arcadia. It's not only to protect, it's to protect and serve. And a lot of what we do with our police department is make sure that we build good community relationships so that people know our police officers. They're not afraid of our police officers. We don't use excessive force. We don't need to use excessive force. And so through that, you have a better policing system. You have a safer community. We always emphasize to all of our residents, you see something, say something. Don't be afraid to call our police. We're not here to go out and harm those who call into the police department. We're not going to get after somebody who calls in and says, oh, this is suspicious, and then we come out and find nothing. We're not going to punish somebody for that. We're happy. We're thrilled to have our residents call in and let us know what's going on in their neighborhoods so that we can come check it out and make sure that we can stay a safer neighborhood. But through that, you're going to have a safer community. And that's just what's going to happen. And that's what you want, is a political leader who's going to support your police department. And that's going to go out into the community. And then the police are going to feel better about their jobs. And they're going to feel supported. And then when you have police departments that feel supported, you're going to have police officers who are doing a better job. And they're going to know that they're serving their community, and they're going to know they can build relationships with their residents.
Yeah. So the idea is very simple. So basically, a strong police force, a strong police department equals your own safety.
Yes.
So that's the equation.
Yes.
And no multiple choice, right?
Yes.
So what's very important, though, a lot of people will have issues with, police officers. Or they think sometimes there might be a potential issue with excessive force, with the police brutality. So that's why they think, well, if we have issues like that, we should defund police department. But that logic, that rationale, is totally false. Here's why: there's issue of legal malpractice. There's issues here of medical malpractice. Should we get rid of all the doctors in all the hospitals, right? If we have no doctors, no hospitals, there will be no legal malpractice, but nobody will treat you, right? So that's the logic, right? So there is an issue of credit card fraud. Should we get rid of all credit card service, right? Should we not use credit cards at all, right? But if that's a logical, right? It's nonsense, you know. So that's why I think, obviously if there's, issues like police brutality, excessive force, we can always deal with it, but that's a separate issue.
Yes. And we should deal with it.
Yeah.
We should deal with it.
Yeah.
When we see the use of excessive force,
yeah,
we need to go in and address that with that police department.
Yeah.
I mean, that is something that we can't stand for. We should be ready to address it. And so I don't think that we want to give the message of, oh, if there's use of excessive force and our police departments are, beating up people for no reason, that's totally fine. No, that's not it at all. It's that you want to build better, stronger police departments. And to do that, you've got to support your police, not tear them down, not tell them that they're awful and that they're the wrong solution for the crime that's happening in your community. These people are putting their lives at risk for us every single day.
Yes.
And we need to respect that and recognize that and give them the honor that they're due.
Yes.
So many times now, our police officers are telling us how demoralized they are because of what they're seeing in the news. And they're wondering, why am I doing this job? Nobody appreciates us. Nobody appreciates what we're doing. We're sacrificing our lives. They're sacrificing time with their family. There's officers, they work throughout the night and they don't see their families because when they go to bed, that's when their family is waking up and going to school. And when they wake up, that's when their family is coming home. And, for us to sit there and say that, our police officers aren't doing a good job, we need to defund our police officers, that's a slap in the face to all these men and women who sacrifice so much for our safety and to protect us and to serve us.
Totally. Not only the police officers do not deserve that lack of appreciation. What's more important, though, is that this whole thing, because they're doing their jobs for you, to protect you, to serve you, right? So if you want to get rid of them, who's going to protect you? Nobody's going to protect you, right? Your car gets broken into, like who are you going to call? Nobody, because there's no police officers, they'll pick up your phone calls. So in addition to public safety, another big issue is, I think nowadays, as I was saying, is inflation, right? Like everything has gotten so expensive. So people and small businesses are moving out of California on a daily basis. I believe there's a study that shows that every single day, there's 500 people, they will move out of the state. They're not coming back, right? Elon Musk has left. I don't think he's coming back.
And taking a bunch of jobs with him.
Yes.
That's the problem.
Yeah. So usually people who move out of the state are the working people or small business owners or even like big business owners like Elon Musk, right? Yes. So when Elon Musk is gone, 10,000 jobs disappeared as well from the state of California forever.
Yes.
Forever. Right? So that's why inflation is a very big issue. I think that it's important to be able to have, as you were saying, good fiscal plans, to make sure the government don't tax as much, especially taxes that don't make any sense at all, like a mileage tax. Like, what is that?
Yes. And so you've heard about that.
Yes.
That is coming. I don't know if your people that follow you know and understand what they are proposing is to tax, to charge instead of a registration fee, is to charge everybody a certain amount for each mile they drive each year in their car. So they'll be checking the mileage on your car and assessing a fee based on that. So guess who drives the most? It's not your doctors. It's not your billionaires. They all work from home. It's the hardest working, lower income people in the state of California who they can't afford to live where they work. Most of them, it's your house cleaners, your janitors, your teachers, it's also your police, your fire. They can't afford to live in the cities that they work in, that they serve. So they end up living farther out. They're the ones who live 40, 50, 60 miles away from their jobs. And they're the ones who are going to end up paying the most in taxes on their registration fees, because the state of California has come up with this idea that they need to, I don't know if you understand that the reason why they're coming up with this new way of assessing registration fees is so that they can pay for a greener California, pay to, how do they call it? Go green or whatever.
It's like a very fancy name.
Yeah.
And misleading as well.
Yes. It's so that we're by 2035, everybody needs to be in an electric car. By 2050, we have to reduce our emissions by so much percentage. And to get there, what they're going to do is certain projects for transportation to get us out of our cars. They're going to put in more bike lanes. They're going to increase trains, the mileage, the amount of trains that we have, so that people will get out of their cars and drive less and reduce emissions. But what ends up happening, it's the lowest income people who end up in their fuel-based cars, because that's the cheapest car, because the electric cars are going to be too expensive. And then they're the ones who drive the farthest, and they're the ones who end up getting taxed the most, and then they can't afford housing. And then we're wondering why we have so many homeless.
Yeah. So how stupid can that be? You think about it. Basically, people are getting penalized for having no money.
Essentially.
Like the reason
Absolutely.
I live, say, on the outskirts, I have to travel 50 miles each way to go to work, because I cannot afford to buy a house close to my work. Right now, now because I have to pay money for the stupid mileage tax, now I have even less money left. Right? So, like, eventually, I will lose my home. I will become homeless.
Yeah. And in the meantime, if you're in a fuel-based car, if you're pumping gas every week, you're still paying the extra $1 a gallon in gas tax. So you get to pay gas tax and you get to pay on a mileage fee, unless they decide to get rid of the gas tax, which I don't think they're going to do. I think they're going to do both, because they haven't talked about that they're going to phase out the gas tax. They're just talking about adding a mileage tax, because the fear is everybody's going to go electric, and then they won't collect as much in gas tax. And then they won't have as much money to do all these projects that they want to do to reduce the greenhouse emissions in the state of California.
So basically, it seems like the general idea of the policies in California is that working people are getting penalized for having no money, for having low income. Criminals are getting rewarded, but not having to suffer any consequences. And average people live in fear every day, right? Maybe inflation, indoctrination, you know, the oh yeah, you know what, the restaurant I've been going to for in the past 10 years, I'm going to stop going because I cannot afford it anymore. Right? So that's what's going on right now. But all this can be changed next year. You know why? Because next year 2024, if you vote for Ms. Verado, if you vote for me, we will make sure changes will be made.
Yes.
Changes will be effectuated.
Yes.
We will go back to the state, the district. The districts will go back to the way they were before. They were the way they're supposed to be before.
Yes.
Right? So it's not about me. It's not about Ms. Verado. It's not about, you know, voting for Republican, voting for Democrat. It's about voting for your way of life. It's about voting for what you want, not what I want, not what Ms. Verado wants.
That's right.
Right?
That's right. That's
so
exactly
as
it.
the saying goes, united we stand. Right? So what we want, why do we want all this? Why do we want public safety? Why do we want education without indoctrination? Why do we want to know or less those nonsense taxes? Because that's what you want. That's what everybody wants. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what you believe in.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So that's why we need you. You and me, we get together. We can send a strong message, not only to Sacramento, with Mr. Verado. We can send a strong message to Washington, D.C. Yeah. So that's how we can effectuate changes. That's how we can take back not only the city, but city by city, district by district.
Yes.
And a state by state. I think that's how eventually we can take back the country. You know?
The focus needs to be on public safety and our economy. We are supposed to be, in California, one of the 5th largest economy in the world. Yet they just announced we are going to have a $68 billion deficit at the end of this year. Yeah. $68 billion. And that means cuts to school funding. It's going to be cuts to public safety. These are the things that are the least priority for this administration. And that's why we keep trying to emphasize it starts at the top. It starts with leadership. It starts with your voice, your vote, because if your Congress member and your Assembly member and your Senate district member, if they all have the same vision of focusing on the economy, focusing on public safety, then that's what's going to trickle down into your local government. It's going to trickle down into your local life and affect your quality of life. And you've got to start at the top. You've got to start with who's your elected representative. And you've got to really look and see, what does your elected representative stand for? What are their values? Do you have the same values as those who are elected and making the decisions on your behalf? Make sure you know who you're voting for. And if they don't share your values, you need to elect somebody else. You need to find somebody who shares your values. I have children, you have children. We're worried about our kids. That's what's important to us, is the safety and our kids having jobs. And to do that, you have got to attract businesses to California. You cannot scare them off. The more businesses that leave the state of California, the more people that leave the state of California, the more money that leaves the state of California, the less money the state of California has to do the policies and the programs that we need to have in order to build a strong economy. So I think it's very basic. It's very common sense. It's not something that's tricky.
Yes. The bottom line, though, is that me and Ms. Verado, not only we are like you, we are you. We want exactly the same thing. The wants and the needs are exactly the same. So that's why you have to go out and vote. You have to go out and vote for the person that can truly represent you. Yeah, that's how not only we can make a difference. That's how you, me, you, us getting together can make a difference. Again, thank you so very much for joining me for today's segment. So, as I was saying, enough is enough. We have to do something about it. You matter, everybody matters. We have to go out. We have to vote. We have to participate. That's how we can make changes. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.